Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights. Cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
Past the hour of 9 here on Culture Daily. Listen, BetWinner is giving you a chance to just go on their the app right now. Use the promo code 3Music, and you stand a chance of winning big on there. Plus, if you're a first-time user of the app, download right now. You get a 200% bonus if you deposit any amount up to 3,250 Ghana cedis. So hurry up. The best odds are all on BetWinner. High odds as well are all on BetWinner. Terms and conditions apply. It is not for persons below the age of 18. BetWinner is also regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, so bet responsibly, all right, because betting can be addictive. But one thing I can bet on without any addiction is the fact that I need to brush my teeth morning and evening. So do you, or must you brush your teeth morning and evening with any of the variants of Pepsodent, the charcoal, or the herbal toothpaste? Because the herbal toothpaste is made from herbal extracts and green tea, which will help repair and protect your gums. Plus, the charcoal is made from natural charcoal, fluoride, lemon, mint, and zinc, which will whiten your teeth. You know that thing about charcoal, right? Yes, and this will whiten your teeth and then remove bad odor as well. So do that every time you eat, morning and evening, with Pepsodent. So yesterday we spent the whole day at University of Education in Winnipeg, where we had the second edition of Refresh. Now, Refresh is our mentorship, activation specifically on the university campuses. Sharing insights into things, experiences that we in the outside world, the corporate world, have seen, witnessed, been through. And yesterday's theme was on balancing academic life and growth. It was a great conversation. The house was packed to capacity. We'll be telling you about it shortly. And also thanks to Ajiti Anand, who was a special guest on the show yesterday. But we'll be going to Live Resto Lounge in a minute for us to enjoy some real good meals. And Doors, we're telling you this, that listen, if you want to enjoy some good lunch today, try Live Resto Lounge. Now, you can find them in East Legon. They have everything from banquet and tilapia to your jollof, to your pizzas, to your, you name them. The list is just endless. Call 020-133-7766 for a swift delivery, all right? And reserve a table and have your meal waiting for you. Ideal for awful bookings for your parties and your pre-events and chill-outs and hangouts and Friday night hangouts and stuff like that. Live Resto Lounge is the place to bizzle. Yes, guys. So, yes, Cyril.
Purr, bro.
To purr.
I think we need to ban.
It's the place to bizzle.
I think we need to ban it because someone was asking me why Cyril saying purr and I didn't have an explanation.
No, that's weird, little purr. Like, real, though. Like,
what's little purr?
No.
What's that?
No, it's real, period. Like,
okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
we who use the word don't
we don't
we
do that.
we were
wow, did they collect money from you when you use it? Use it freely.
Let me do a quick recap with Olele. Yesterday, he had a great conversation. Before we jump into today's convo, had a great conversation on the Ghana card.
Ghana card 2.0.
Yeah. Just a recap on the, with some of the pointers that were shared and insights.
Yeah, so basically they are looking to introduce a creative arts card that would enable creatives, i.e. artists, actors, actresses, visual artists, new media, basically anybody that identifies as a creative, to ease the visa application processes that comes with the job.
Is that good news or bad news?
It depends on where you stand.
I'm standing at the place where I say that's bad news because
the creative arts
very soon
agency,
you don't have any creators in Ghana.
No, I mean it's like we asked yesterday. It's going to be heavily regulated. You need to show. You need to show proof. I mean, if people get a chance to watch the full conversation, they understand. You need to show proof of trade. That indeed you are going to you're going to do the show, or you're going to do something.
But what I want to understand is that, I mean, we won't waste much time on this. Was discussed yesterday. What I want to understand is that, you see, the embassy's regulations do not necessarily worry or bother whether you or what you do here. I mean, for them, it is entry requirements into their country.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the card would identify you so much that it should influence.
So that's why they are. That's why they are. So yesterday we talked about data and databases, right? Like how do the embassies know that, okay, indeed you are a creative that would need this particular exemption from the Herculean process that comes with applying for a visa?
Because for example, US has got an I visa for as a media work permit.
Yeah, but this is like
their requirements.
This is like your diplomatic creative pass.
Who?
Yes,
okay.
Because the whole idea is to partner with the missions, i.e. the embassies, and let them know that, okay, in partnership with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Tourism, right? So they are going to submit these names to the ministries, or to the embassies, or to the missions.
Sorry, I know you're not the one on the hot seat, but example, if I present my Ghana card at the embassy, they worry more about the passport.
Yeah, no, so the passport is definitely is crucial to your application. But when you present yourself as a member of the Creative Arts Agency and you have the Creative Arts card, you are also going to be cross-checked with the missions to be sure if your name is in a database, and if indeed you say you are who you say you are. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea. Hopefully they are able to.
We go
dissect them later.
I'm not keenly excited about
anything.
We plan to. We have a lot of. We plan to.
I mean, it's been in the works for, according to the spokesperson, or according to Frankie Five, it's been in the works for close to 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the whole idea, I think, difficulty is the airline that hasn't been fully activated or fully passed by Parliament to allow the Creative Arts Agency to carry out some of these things.
Okay.
So they are hoping that, I mean, the airline was reviewed last week, so they are hoping that it would be passed in Parliament, and then they can fully activate some of these services. And that was what I was asking him yesterday, because some of these things have been
let me now just sway off that and then come to a very important conversation. Now, yesterday we discussed balancing academic life and growth. It was very interesting how students were very excited and hooked on the conversation of wanting to learn some of the experiences that some of the speakers were sharing. They had loads of questions to ask. Unfortunately, we wish we could have stayed in UEW the whole day, but we wouldn't be able to do that, so we had to come to Accra. However, there were key learnings from this, and that's the question I want to put to two types of questions I want to, since they say I'm the one who causes havoc, two kind of questions I want to put to Isilfwa and to Amy, and then another set that I want to ask Cyril and Olele. So let me start with you two. Let me start off with Olele first. How long did it take you to transition from academia, school life, into accepting the reality of work life? So at any point in time, whether you did only up to primary or SS or
while in school or after school?
No, after. How long did it take you to realize that you have to wake up to what the real life is as compared to school? That gap.
That's a tricky question, because I
know you were working whilst you were in school.
Yeah, I mean, but I was working as an entrepreneur. I was a photographer at the time.
Yes, you mentioned.
The Lord is I.
Yeah.
But I think reality setting.
Sorry, if I can even paint it better for you, in your situation, you were into photography.
Yeah.
However, if you were to go back to photography, I'm very sure that there are things you will not do again in how you operate.
Yes. Yes.
So there's a certain difference in there.
Yeah.
And at that point was raised yesterday. I think at the point in time when I was also personally sharing my balancing. I realized that it was up until 2017 that I actually realized that my company that was set up in 2007 is actually 5 years old. It's not 17 years old. No, did you get it?
Like
the company
legally
I thought it was 2000. No, legally registered in 2007. Opened my first bank account in 2007. But the company really existed in 2017 because from that time on, they joke.
Yeah, I think that's true. Because for me, The Lord's Eye was established in 2011, and it didn't really take flight properly until I think 2016, 2017. And when it took flight, that was the same year I called it quits. You know, because
was there a reason why you walked away from photography?
It wasn't working. Nothing was working.
Good.
Nothing was working. Like the desire was there, the passion was there. I mean, digital photography had just taken flight in this country. So we had the likes of the late Bob Pixel, you had Barack from Capture, you had Roger Jeboa, you had Tim Pocho of Team 1000.
Barack, yeah. Capture.
Pocho from Team 1000 Words. You know, you had Charles, you had quite a number of people who were really defining what photography was. You know, at the same time, you also had to deal with your parents, because your parents are like, "We do go super so your photo," you know, that kind of thing. So it's like
points that were raised yesterday.
You know, so it was like
by Araba Kumsin.
Yeah, like everything. And at the time, you know, you had to raise your own. Look at the names I mentioned.
Yes.
These are people that were leaders in the field, and they were using crazy cameras, right? But even at that point, they were telling us that you didn't need to have
all that,
like crazy. You just need to have the eye. That's how I actually got the name The Lord's Eye, because I could use any camera and still get the best out of it. You get me? But it got to a point where you had to evolve. And the evolution would come with some level of capital injection. Now, these are the people who were leaders in the market. So you as a young boy or as a rising photographer, your market is not really there just yet, because you need to prove yourself against the odds, right? And that was where I realized that no, the thing, no, and why I didn't cry.
Case study with Olile. Now, so would you look at there's a serious point I'm coming to. Somebody says political, but let me just feel free and say it. Looking at the education system, is that what propelled you into photography? Or because we will not downplay the fact that it was a passion. But did you have any triggers in the education system that made you identify photography as a business that you could engage in? Let's remove passion. We all have interest.
Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't say there was a gap or there was a challenge with the education bit. I think it started off as, you know, a passion product, right? You get in because you don't even know how to charge. You see, so there were times where you are either undercharging or overcharging, and in both cases you lose a job. You know, because if you know, you got to a point where photographers had to come. We had to like do like a stakeholder engagement meeting to have like a benchmark, right? So that when someone comes to you and says, "Okay, I want you to shoot a wedding for me," you are charging 1,000 cedis, and not coming to me and saying that because I want to get into the market, I will charge you 300 cedis. Because that was also one of the plagues that were affecting the trade. You get what I'm saying? So, the business aspect of it, before I caught on to it, it was too late. A caught. You get it? So now I have to. I don't only
Very
have to
important.
prove myself that I am good at what I do. I also have to prove myself that I am business minded. You know, because you meet a client and they're asking you, "Oh, but why they charge me this? Why they charge me this?" And you need to, but also come on deal. So you also have to be like, "Oh, there, whatever you go give me, I go take."
Yeah.
You get it? So you are playing a very, you know, delicate say fixture between trying to really understand who you are as a professional, right, and at the same time be professional with the business.
Yes.
And at that point in time, the education wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. But today, if I go in there, I know what it means to price this way, price that way, how to reposition myself to make sure that, you know, I'm in demand and so on and so forth. The leaders already knew that.
Yes.
Because they had started early.
So that's what happens where if you don't take that point is the Bermuda Triangle. If you don't take care, you get lost. You lose it. Or you don't follow through again. Yes. Okay. So ladies, you just heard what Olele has said. Now let me just pick it one by one. Amy, have you been shocked with what the world is after school, or it was expected?
Well, I would say it was expected because, you know, in my school, things were not as easy as like maybe other schools.
You mind sharing the school?
Know. Oh yeah, I attended GIJ, Unimac. Yeah, and over there, Unimac. Now Unimac, University of Media, Arts and Communication.
GIJ is changed?
Yeah, so there is now
it's now a university.
They've combined.
They've
combined
Institute of Journalism,
campuses,
NAFTI, and then GIG.
Sorry, I just came from Atlanta.
Yeah, so over there it was like they always told you what it was like outside, and then we also had opportunities to take internship programs. So you go to a media house. That was where the problem was. People who did not know what they actually wanted to do are the ones who would come out and find themselves wanting. When I was in school, I went to GIJ because I wanted to do media. So every time there was time for internship, I went to a media house to do my internship. So I knew what the real world was like. I knew what being in school and being in the media was like. I knew what coming out of school to be in the media was like. So it wasn't really a shock for me.
Okay, very interesting. You might have been one of the lucky ones, Lenny. Let me find out from you, AC, as well.
Yeah.
The gap between the campus life, school life, and then coming to the real world to what it is.
You see, yesterday when you were telling the stories, there was this transition. It's like 1 minute you're doing this, the next minute you're doing that. And so I was hit hard. Because knowing what you want to do, your parents not wanting you to do what you want to do, having passion for it, not knowing, in fact, basically being confused is the word, right? And then also not having that push in what you want to do. So it's like I was learning one thing whilst I wanted to do something else. So even though like someone will say English and speaking, public speaking, all of that is connected, it's not like they take you through when you like maybe in Unimac, if you have to present the news, they take you through that. If you have to write a script they take you through that. I was learning all that on the side for myself because I felt like I had the passion, but it wasn't guided. There was nothing like that. I was learning how to be a teacher in school. And so when I get out and I'm like, okay, I enjoyed that space. I did teach, right? But even that was tough because you realize that aside being a teacher, you have to deal with the kids' psychological, issues. Why is a child behaving like this? It's not my child. It's not my problem. Why do I have to deal with it? You're the teacher. You have to deal with it. And even moving away from that and then finding out that catering for yourself is one thing. And being adult and being responsible for yourself is another thing. And no one has to tell you need to eat at this time, you need to bath at this time, you need to do this at this time, you need to save money for this. Whatever you want to do, you'd have to be intentional about it. And just being in school and being taken care of and just coming out of school, it hits you. For me, I think it hits me, and I've learned and I'm still learning, and I really wish I could go back to being 11.
Cyril, there was a shock, there was a bit of a shock on the, not a shock per se, but a keen interest on, or surprise, a surprise element, yes, on the most of the attendees yesterday when some of these insights were being given. What do you think contributes to this element of surprise? There seems to be, maybe, is there I don't know, in your personal opinion, if there's a certain, I don't know how to put it, like, hey, is that what it is? Because we are already going through one in school already. But this thing you're telling us, so does it mean that, hey, then when we get there, then what will we do? Is that the reason why a lot of people now are diversifying into the entrepreneurship under the umbrella of, I'll just cook jollof and put it on Instagram and then just sell my thing. I'll do beats and then I'll just put it online. I want to be an influencer. Right now, influencer is a new job. Influencer.
Content creator.
Yes, content creator. I'm a
Without
content creator.
actually knowing what it takes to be there.
Yes, and even in that, there's no tutorship or there's no mentorship. You just see somebody doing it, you just pick it up, and now you get your numbers because you did one video, it's gone viral, and boom, you're a content creator.
And now you want to charge 10K.
Yes.
Hey, slow down.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, you've answered it. But to add on a bit, Amy's submission about Unimac, GIJ, and knowing what she wanted and blah, blah, just gave me a beautiful insight into something I think we all missed, which is the fact that the smaller the institution and the more specific the institution's unique selling proposition is, the clearer the students seem to have their vision.
That's true.
When you go to Legon or Tech or wherever, it's a cacophony of ideas and experiences and dreams and influences, and it's a big market of, we're all in school, but there's no clarity. But everybody that I know who went to NAFTI wants to be either behind the film on the film or communicating through the film somehow. There's clarity.
Yeah.
Just like she said, if you are GIJ or you are wherever, even our friends who, where did you go? I learned design. I was at IPMC. He went there for design. But somebody was in Legon 4 years, couldn't tell you
What exactly they were doing.
you finish the Legon, I just look for a job in the house check. You know, there's clarity. The smaller and the clearer the vision of the institution is. So that pressure that falls on a lot of people, because I was given different courses, like I mentioned yesterday. My admission letter had different courses. There was a grace period to change your courses. I changed it. I started doing badly in some courses, so I had to juggle it around. I had to take some other courses to make sure my credits. So from level 100 to level 400, I just wanted to finish Legon. You get what I'm saying? What I was given and what I ended up completing with, I had to develop that knack and that understanding and clarity along the way.
So I beg, let me ask you. So and please, no shade to any university or any institution, but have we also over popularized
and overhyped
the excuse to say the Legon Tech UCC,
yes,
triangle,
yes,
to the point that from primary school when you finish BEC, you don't choose based on
The course you want to do.
maybe I'd really start defining your career. But
I feel like it might
I
not
want to be in
necessarily
Legon because I hear say
That's
I want to be in
okay.
tech.
I feel like when
Defend
it
it.
comes to Legon Tech UCC, they're big schools, right? But there are some people who might not agree with it. That'll have to be those who probably be in education and leadership, those who be in nursing. There's some fields that when you are in the school, you know exactly what you are going to do at the end. If you decide to change, that's on you.
Yeah.
Like being in medical school, there's no way when you are done you would want to go and do music if it's not a choice.
Or nursing and midwifery.
You guess what I'm trying to say. It's very specific, but it's all in Legon. It's in tech. Maybe you're working on being an architect.
Yeah.
I'm coming. Yeah,
I want to ask you something. Yes.
But then there's other parts of being in school where you are given, and what I want to know is why some people are given those courses and it's not like heavy, like you're given a mix of psychology, sociology, and English. I think that's what I was given at Legon. My mom was like, hell no, no.
What's that combination?
What you get what I'm trying to say? And so that's where maybe the confusion is, where it's like you need to specify at a certain point. And so if I'm there and like Cyril said, there's a lot of influences on campus. Aside what I'm studying, there's a lot of people that are going to come in. Oh, we are having this group meeting here, which is also going to teach you something. We're having this here, which is also going to teach you something. So there's other influences on top of the fact that you are not even specifying in what you're learning. And so there's a lot of things, and people are unable to make a decision as to what am I going to do when I get out of here. And like if I'm in Legon UCC Tech, I know that I'm going to end up being a teacher. I'm going to end up being a doctor. I'm going to end up being a nurse. Those type of courses, I'm sure there's a number of them, but those type of courses are going to let you know that at the end, this is the goal. But if I doubt that there's anyone doing psychology, there's a few of them, but psychology, sociology, English, I'm going to use that, saying at the end, I want to be a psychologist. Not a lot of them.
So to
Okay, you finish it. I wanted to ask you a question, but
no, ask her because I wanted to address what she said. So if
ask it.
No.
Sorry.
Okay. We also need to consider the fact that the last but one lady who spoke about parental pressure and societal pressure, that ties directly into how we value the job market and what the employment space is actually like.
Yeah.
And going is just the same way you write BEC and it's a bunch of courses. And you might be great at something, but you fail at what you are not inclined to do with, and that would affect your whole grading.
So even in that thing,
we apply that to
SS. We need to question
yes,
it.
It's like we judge a fish by its ability to
Or
climb
is it
a
too
tree.
early? Is it too early to determine the child's interest? So write all.
Yes.
Then that means the
No, that's not
failure
it.
should not be. The failure of certain courses should not determine
what the child will do.
whether I should get
that's bad.
into.
Boss, I'm speaking as a product of it. I've had the glorious opportunity to have my primary education in the Amanone.
Yeah.
And I was not learning 12 or 10 different random
Subjects.
things. Boss,
So what were you learning?
choose what you learn. I was learning maths, English, and I think science. That was it in primary school. Those were my course books, and my course books lasted the term. So if I could finish fast, I helped my other teammates who couldn't. So there was a self-learning structure and everything.
So before you move on, question: someone else in your class could pick maybe creative writing or writing. What am I thinking? Maybe drawing, art.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when you're good at that, they encourage you to share with the team. So AC is great at writing. She's come up with this great poem. AC, read it to the class. And those of us who are, let's say, not writers, would listen and applaud your story and encourage you. And because they are seeing what you're good at. And that's how I funneled out.
But do they have like core subjects that you'd have to learn, like
English and math? That was it.
How about history?
No.
Wow. Okay.
So you were. So I'm asking, is it too early to have a ward or a child decide before BC or end of JHS decide?
It is, bro. It is, because
what I really want to focus in, or that's the reason why we are allowed to write all 12, 13, 14 subjects.
I don't think it's
You see, we
and
are
then fail some people, or somebody might fail
one
on
thing.
one or two things, or maybe 5. And then because of that failure, it limits the kind of institution the person gets access to.
Yeah.
Then that means that there's a question mark on the system.
There is the question mark that's on the system is that our education system was rooted in colonial objectives. Okay, you needed to know enough of that's why it's called basic education certificate examination. So that worst case scenario, if you don't go anywhere after that, there's a basic foundation. There's no optimism to the fact that these kids that are starting out here are going to master French and take French in SS and university and become an aficionado in French. No, it's basic. It's like kwata one year B C D O. And I'm saying it specifically because it's part of the big culture shock when I got pushed back into class 6. Coming from this system that I didn't have to do things I don't care about and things that didn't excite me and things I was.
What that would be like, because
I
you now have to
remember
study everything
again.
Yeah.
I'm I don't care. I've done well. I'm okay. Remember year class 6, I chopped last. Magdalena Mate was my teacher because I had to learn a local language. I had to learn RME. I had to learn social studies. A bunch of BS that I could Google today. Can you imagine chewing all those things that today I can Google? So coming from that system that I chopped last once, twice, thrice before finding momentum, because the bottom line was, why am I learning this? You understand? But opposite to everybody else who wanted to pass exams because I want to make daddy proud, people are just regurgitating to pass exams.
Yeah.
So here you have a bright kid who knows but is unable to fit the educational system and perform. You get the problem.
Yeah. So then I asked about. I mean, point well made. And then I asked, not even but. Then I asked about the popularity influence of some of these universities, and the perception it creates than actually choosing what you really, really, really want to do. So, for example, Ashesi carries a very high prestigious, higher learning, and also quote unquote some bougie experience. Yeah. No two ways about it. I'm not lying. Ashesi, so that Central University, it carries this perception of again, or offers higher learning. At the same time, the networking there is beautiful. You meet a certain interesting kind of students. There, you'd want to be there and be part of that, that community. And then there is, there's University of Ghana Legon, which has suffered everything, from student protests to scandals to higher learning to all kinds of things, Carson, and everybody wants to be. Then lately there was UPSA popping its head also, as well, with regards to the same thing, higher learning. You go to the school, there's a lot of refurbishments being done there. It is strict, you can't fool, but unfortunately students are also sharing a lot of naked videos and things going around. So in the student community, there's a certain challenge school there, you've been late. Sorry to say, but that's what some young people might carry in mind.
Why do people want to go to Legon and they want to be a pent?
Exactly, prestige.
Something like
It
that.
drills down to those things. So now the
The
question is:
reason why
are
we want
these
to buy
things-
Nike and not Mikey.
Are these things? Are these things? Charlie, so guess what? I don't want to digress too much, but let me just say this. So on our way back, we had a bit of a car breakdown, right? And then we stopped by this place to try and fix this mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Now there's a boutique there, right?
Yeah.
And then I've been in my shoes for a long time. My shoes were hurting, so I wanted to change into slippers. So I go into the shop to buy, some slippers, and unfortunately, they were only branded like designer slippers. Okay, and then they were all small, so I couldn't pick any. Then I saw one, and I picked up. It was Timberlands. I said, if I don't want to go take away the small one, let me wear what Timberlands. All right, you see. So guess what? So this morning I wake up, right? I mean, I understood they were not originals, but I needed to wear something. I woke up this morning, and I decided to take a look at the Timberland spelling again.
What?
You know, in the morning when you wake up, you pee, right? I nearly peed again. so it was. So you know, we both
I
didn't see
think,
it.
do you know why we didn't notice? You were in a hurry. You literally had taken
But
off your
Essie-
sneakers,
but
and
Essie-
she dropped them. He just put his feet in it,
All right,
even
sorry.
before he had paid.
Sorry to digress. We'll come on to education. But
Yeah,
sorry to
even
digress.
before you had paid, your feet were in it.
Essie and I saw the slipper to be Timberland.
Yeah.
Brown Tims. But when I got home,
Timber seed.
the E and the R in the timber has swapped places. That E and the R in the timber has swapped places to it's timber still.
It's still timber.
But it's T-I-M-B-R-E.
British
Okay?
spelling.
T-I-M-B-R-E.
It's British.
Anyway,
That's your problem.
let me come back. Let me come to the
Yeah, we are
conversation.
manufacturers of timber.
Yeah, yes.
Did you state you wanted American one? When you went, did you tell the guy I'm American slippers?
So
Come on.
Fact was actually a lady, right? She was like, "Oh, wait there, yo, wait there." So,
Yes.
and the price, she didn't want to take it down. She's like, "Wait there, your original." She actually said, "Wait there, your original."
Why 150? So cool Timberlands for 150. They want to. Me do fear no. I could have sworn to you that the E and the R was okay at the shop, but when I got home and it swapped to RE, it's still Timberland anyway. I just carried it from where I had left it and I put it somewhere quietly, just like may it never be seen again. Now we BBC that's a make a house so me 9 film slippers when I'm in heading.
Hey.
As about.
So just take a picture and put
Yes.
it on social.
Timber, that's very timber. But anyway, so back to our conversation on this. So, in any way, have these, the what's the word?
Overhyped popularity.
What? Yeah, the popularity sometimes influence these decisions of the schools that we want to be associated in with. I beg your pardon, or want to get in.
Like this,
In any way, does that?
I feel like it doesn't mean start from university. It starts from a senior high school.
Yeah.
It sure
Some people
does.
Even
want
primary.
to,
You
even,
never want to go
even
to
primary,
Minister.
you know. But I mean, it's not as it really starts in senior high school where you suffer that at home. It's like you want him to be in this school. You don't want to be in this
It did
school.
start from there, but I also like the fact that now some Gen Zs mention their schools. They're not popular, but they're proud to say that from those schools.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's
The
okay.
National Science and Maths quiz has opened up to getting to know other schools.
Yeah.
But the universities, because there are so many universities in this country. I'm sure there are well over 40 or 50 universities in this country.
Yeah.
But there are just about 10 that are so popular that it is these ones that we want to get in
but
there.
at
And then the
first-
courses now Cyril mentioned, I think you mentioned,
Yeah.
are just like some
Mixed
It's a big lucky
Yes.
bag. You put your hand in and you take the one that you get.
you get.
Yes.
And then that in itself brings us to what I had asked about the shock, the element of surprise that awaits you when you finish these universities and you're coming into the real world. One, you probably didn't do the course you wanted to do, like myself. Two, you because you didn't do the course you wanted to do, there was lack of interest. Even if you did what you wanted to do, you finish school, you come out and realize that, well, unemployment awaits you with wide arms.
Yeah.
Very limited options of the things you want to do. So you did psychology, you did what? Sociology and then
English.
And then English. There are a number of things you can do.
My mom just looked at the letter and said, "Nana, no."
There are a number of
Alright.
things you can do with it, but the question is I want to ask is what can you do with it after school in reality? with such a combination?
That's where you'd have to look at your options, because if I had been in a situation like that, I'd know that I'd have to take one of them very seriously and decide by myself that this is what I'd want to do. If I'd love to be a linguist, Legon has a whole department for
Linguistics.
Yes, linguistics departments. Look at options over there. And the thing is, a lot of people are attending school and not asking questions. They just get in there, do what they are told to do. This is the course outline. They don't even understand the source of the course outline, what they are studying. They just want to cram, put it on the paper, and then move on to the next semester. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And so if you know that, okay, after school there's something called work that I'd have to do, and that after the work year, after the school process, I'd have to be schooling, I have to be working. When I'm done, do I want to be a psychologist? Let me focus more there. Let me do my own personal reading. Let me reach out to some of these lecturers who are actual
So
psychologists.
what course did you
who are
offer, if you
speaking
can get personal?
English.
English.
Education in English, and so I can teach, and I mean, yeah, I'm good at writing as well. What I did in my school, I went to Valley View University.
Did you identify the side of your life, which is media relations, and what age
time.
you identified
So-
it? What prevented you from, towing along those lines?
So I wanted to do a number of things at a time, and my dad wasn't exactly going with it. I wanted to start with acting, and he wasn't really working with, going to NAFTI at as
Because he
early
wasn't
as senior high school.
He wasn't inspired by any of the actors.
No, it wasn't working for him. Coming from a
Daddy
background
wanted
where
Will Smith.
coming from a background where
Not smell
everyone,
wheat. Not me wheat.
everyone was, working in the public sector, the doctors, ministries, a lot. That was it. And so the few people who decided to go the media way, it was not working. So he did not have that. But he still trusted it and said, you know what? If you're unable to, you didn't get law. I applied to do law at Legon, and they gave me sociology, psychology, and English. And my dad was like, you know what? No. My mom was like, no. And so we ended up, going for Valley View, right? But what I'm saying is that when it comes to you are given this right in school, you need to decide for yourself. It has to be a personal decision, and these are kind of conversations are supposed to be had with
But don't
kids
you
and
also
parents.
think that you can't decide for yourself because you don't know
That's
what
what I'm
exactly.
saying, that if you don't ask, that's what the same
So,
thing I was saying.
do we-
Jay, I'm coming
okay.
because you are in school. People are going to school for the wrong reasons. Like you said, I want to attend this school for a network. What are you going to do with the network? Some people know a lot of people and don't know what to do with it because they don't know what they are doing.
Yeah.
You might know people that work at NASA, but you don't understand what's going on there. So what are you going to do with that contact?
Cleaning.
Jay, do you get what I'm trying to say? And so if I decide that I want to be in the media, who am I reaching out to? Who am I talking to whilst I'm in school? That's going to make sure that at the end of the 4 years, it's going to be possible to enter the media. That's why in Amy's school, it's going to be easier because they have personnel coming in there to reach out to them.
Yeah.
But I'm the one doing psychology, sociology, and English. And I've decided I want to be a psychologist. The lecturers, some of them are psychologists. Why not reach out to them? Find out what they're reading. Find out what the workspace being a psychologist is like. What do I need to do aside having a certificate to be a psychologist? What are some of the mental things that I will even go through? What are some of the things that I'll have to do financially in order to be a stable psychologist? Like, people don't ask questions. They're just in school for their jams and they end up finishing school and they have great grades. Not like they failed though. Great grades, but they probably don't understand what they wrote in their exams and they are just there.
True and poor.
And then they want to now fall on the creatives, making it look like the creatives is the easy way out, not knowing that they also have to learn when you decide to be a creative. And they are churning out rubbish.
Hey.
Can we pour now?
But because it was okay.
I nearly made that mistake of going to the wrong school to do the wrong thing.
See?
And I had to make inquiries. I was going to do
Make
linguistics
inquiries.
because I wanted to be a
linguist.
journalist. I wanted to be a journalist and I was going to do linguistics. I wanted to do English
they're down.
because I heard one journalist say that she did linguistics in English, and that was where I picked it from. And then I bought my forms. I bought KNUST, I bought University of Ghana. Yes, because everyone is going to KNUST, everyone
See?
is going to University of Ghana. And then I spoke to my cousin and he's like, no, if it's journalism you want to do, you need to go to GIJ. I was so sad. So I did a late
Flexing
registration. I did a very, very late registration for GIJ, but then fortunately I got in. So sometimes I think of it that we just decide on what we want to do. And if I hadn't listened, if I had stick to the fact that I want to be in these schools I have mentioned, I would have made the same mistake that everyone is making, going to school, doing the wrong courses. But yeah, sometimes it's us. We don't want to listen.
Let me ask you something about GIJ. The end of the school's name is journalism.
Yeah.
But they offer more than the journalism,
yeah, so
right? Okay.
When I was there, it was mainly public relations and journalism. So that's why it's now communications.
Because considering the number of journalists that's my channel from there.
Yeah, so it's communication. It's communication studies.
Yes.
You see, but it's just journalism because that has been the name. That's why it has been changed now, because we don't only do journalism. Now they're doing marketing, they're doing public relations, and then journalism. So it's communication studies. So you go there and pick from...
When did you identify that this is where you wanted to be?
When I went to GIJ? When I went to GIJ,
before.
When I was in...
I mean, you wanted to go to the other schools, but...
Yeah, when I was
you wanted to be a journalist.
You wanted to be a journalist in Legon.
That is the thing. I wanted to do I didn't know anything about it.
So this is it.
That's what I'm saying. The enquiries, personal research.
And I
as
didn't
a
know
person.
about GIJ as well. I didn't know about
it.
Yeah, you know what I think.
Where would you have gone to, Lily, if you went to pursue photography? Which university would you have gone to? Semaba.
That's a good question.
University of Photography.
No, I mean, NAFTI. NAFTI teaches that,
NAFTI
you know.
does that.
But and I think.
Why didn't you go to NAFTI?
No, so at the time I was already doing business information technology while I was in school.
Before you figured out you wanted to be
you get me?
Okay.
So let me give you an idea. I tried when I took off, right, from primary school. I thought I was going to be a doctor. Right, and that's because once again that's because your parents, your African parents. I always say this, that in an African home, you're either a doctor, a lawyer, or a disappointment. Wow. It's only until recent times that
I feel you.
Children or wards are allowed to now say they want to be footballers, they want to be musicians.
Pilot, they never say pilot.
You understand? Because there was a level of prestige that came with doctor, lawyer, pilot. You know, because your parents are waiting to tell Asumesi, say, "Me bano a doctor." Oh, you get me? Like at that time, telling their friends that their son is a photographer, it doesn't sit well.
It's like photo.
And I grew up in the barracks, you know, so I stand of a military man. You understand? So they are expecting some things. You get me? But we survived. So I took off looking to be a doctor. So I remember my dad used to go for peacekeeping missions. When he comes back, he's buying me biology, chemistry books. Oh, you know, so cause you know,
one talk camera.
You know, even we used to play games like Family Con, right?
Yeah, Family Con.
Back in the day, my dad, when he bought Family Con for me, it was educational. It had to have some medicine and some. The cartridges were all science.
Charlie.
Because the man wanted, you understand? You know, and these things were even written in Arabic. So at some point in time, I was learning Arabic through the games. I didn't know what my dad was saying at the time, but I just knew that, okay, he wants me to,
doctor.
You know, and I like the fact that he was supporting the idea of being a doctor. But me too, baby, who said no.
That's not what you want.
The doctor is not going to work. So I said, okay, then I'll be an accountant. So at that time, I had joined the school that I was in at the time. I just started my IGCSE program at the time. And when I go into accounting, because like, oh, mass them yeah de kakra. Bedroom baby them round, so no. Accounting no so no.
The mass is massing.
The balance of the sheets, the profit and loss, Charlie, I wasn't seeing top. So I came to have a meeting with my parents, and I said, Charlie, I know I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be an accountant.
You want to be Charles Anfa.
But yeah, I'm not going to say a device will have my phone.
Repairer.
My calling is in the IT. You understand? And in all of my exams, IT, I can sleep and I'll pass. You get me? So I'm like, okay, I feel like mommy and dad, we are focused on the wrong things, you know. When I'm so my dad was so confused. But I was like, Charlie, actually, you still don't know what to do. You know, come out two books, my essay, what's the sour course? I'm not entering university self here too. So when I do the IT, they go. That's like, okay, then that's where I would like to, you know, set my tent, you know, in the profession. Then I went into NCC Education UK. That was how I started doing my business information technology, this thing. That was when I also got to know that, no, there was a passion for photography. But mind you, I was doing my IT stuff, you know. I had an internship with Microsoft Africa at the time, did some front-end development at the time as well. And I was just, but once again, it wasn't fine because I didn't have the network. So
You have Legon.
I didn't have the network. So bro, I used to work from a friend is Laboni to Osu looking for clients to just set up websites for them, develop websites for them. So Charlie, by the time I come to your shop, I'm sure I'm stupid. Bro.
The story is very interesting. Before I could, no, I'm not. We're not done with it. But I'm just reminding you again that you should pay a quick trip to Live Resto Lounge. It's in East Legon. Listen, there's double cheesy pepperoni pizza, savory banco and tilapia, and papocheto. Hurry up, check out their online menu. Okay, both local favorites and continental cuisine. You find it all there. So, full course meal, quick snack, any of them. Pass by Live Resto. You can order also on 020-133-7766. 133-7766 if you want to do delivery. Listen, they say eat hot, eat good. Live Resto Lounge. Wakana has got a great deal for you as well. Jump on their website. It's wakanagana.com.gh. Hurry up on their social media platforms and plan that vacation for you. Tomorrow there's a giveaway on their social media platforms, so hurry up and check it out. Ulule, continue the story before I tell you about Lancaster.
Yes.
Because maybe if you had gone there,
Maybe.
how were UK?
So, Charlie, and as part of our program with Microsoft Africa, they were encouraging us to find our own client, like start off because you are an SME, quote unquote, right? So I'll go to these shops in Osu, these big shops in Osu, and when I go in there, they think I'm going to ask some money. So they won't even give me audience because I look ragged,
branding
bro.
in fat.
You understand? The branding too wasn't fat. At that time, I didn't even know what branding was. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, photography because IT also my Charlie, IT also in fact. So when I started doing photography, it started getting me to events for free. As soon as I appeared my camera, come in. So I had backstage access, you know. So I was doing Glitz African Fashion Week. I was doing at the time VGMAs. I was doing Miss Malika. I just said I have arrived, but the pocket
was empty
because everything I was doing, it was just
free.
eye service, so that somebody at least get to know me and pay me my worth. And so still, the money wasn't coming. So I took time off and I went to pray to God. I said, Papa, what is my purpose on earth?
You should have prayed earlier.
Because you see, and I'm saying
but that's a very good point. What is your purpose?
When you are multifaceted, right, and you are multi-talented, you are multi-skilled, you think you are called to all of these things. So you do it.
Jack of all trades.
You understand? It's good to have all these skills. Like you said, you study linguistics and stuff. It's good to have them. But maybe that's not what God has called you to do. So you will never find fulfillment in that area.
But yes, I am.
So in 2016, 2 years, I said, you know what, Charlie? Let me just wait on God and hear from Him and go into the field I've been called to, because I can do even if it's mechanic, I will go and learn. In 6 months, I'll learn the job and do it. But that wasn't what God had called me to do. So in 2016, I had a conversation with God. 2018, I got into media, and now today I'm here.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I would also love to give a shout out to my parents, because they are not the parents who would not want you to do what you wanted to do. I've always said that my dad will ask you to choose whatever you want to do unless it's acting. And that is what helped me, because
unless it's acting.
Unless it's acting.
Charlie.
Why? He doesn't want them to kiss you on camera.
He feels like it comes with a lot in that.
Let me also quickly add that, you know, when before I go into media, when I saw like guys in media like yourself, Jeremy, Majid, I was like, hey, I didn't very feel.
Meanwhile, we're also looking for our feet. We're also questioning ourselves.
When they say no work, cool, it's like you don't get it.
There's this notion that media pays.
Yeah.
So when I used to, I said, hey, Charlie.
See the way for my friends. Welcome to Foresight TV. We've got the latest videos for you.
Follow the interview. All these guys.
The clothes was not for me.
The shoe was Timberland.
It was Timberland.
Timberland. And you see, so exactly, you know, like I was saying, but this is a very interesting conversation, and that's why if you were not as refreshed, you missed out on there. But another one will happen. So sit back. But listen, at least this one I can guarantee that if you want a British degree, it's a fraction of the cost.
If you know what you want.
Yes, that's if you know what you want. Listen, a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you one step closer to the career of your dreams. Then please get your admission at Lancaster University. I'll tell you how. Just send an email at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. There's a 50% plus up to 50% scholarship waiting for you at Lancaster for your degree program. Okay, so also look through their website. It's lancaster.edu.gh or call 0209 60 70 08. Lancaster University Ghana is the only British university campus in West Africa. Our time is up.
Oh,
okay, Issy.
Just really to wrap it up.
Yes.
Yesterday, some of the learnings I got was, parents and their kids have to have conversations. They need to be more open. Otherwise, their kids will end up doing things they don't want to do, and it comes back and it's a big mess. Listening to Olele, listening to Amy, myself, everybody has something they have to do. You don't just listen to your kid that might not exactly know what they want, right? She listen to you. You need to watch the child, what they're doing. Sometimes they're doing something they say they're not interested in, but they're probably shy to say that that's what they want to do. And so there's a lot that parents need to take care of or pay attention to. And in the end, your child will do what they have to do and bring you money. They'll find their purpose and bring you money. So
for those of you who know me, I've been advocating for visual arts as a top course.
Visual.
I want to wrap up by saying that, you see, they force you to learn math and science. You learn. Every stage, primary, GSS, SS, you are learning math, science. They say that you will need it in your future to calculate your money. Blah. Instagram, no. If you think I'm lying, go and check IG and type Jollof.
That's not true, Jay.
Your science student is cooking Jollof. Home economics. Your science student is cooking Jollof.
Like you don't eat Jollof.
We are. If you think I'm lying, see.
But make nobody lie you. They teach you the study or it will help you.
The science student that we're doing. Listen, they say, do you know why there's no do you know why? Biology and physics.
Till today, I've not titrated any chemical.
Yes, I'm saying, do you know why biology and physics?
Fully yesterday, I chopped 40.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
that before
40.01, that is 2 days. 40.0 at the age of 40.02.
Yes.
I've not titrated anything.
Say it louder.
Benson Benna, me who be the Pobio from the St. Peter's lab. Now I saw Benson Benna for the first time. Till this morning.
Of the rats for me.
Benson Benna.
What did you do?
Head, thorax, abdomen. When have I seen an insect and asked him which part of the body is paining you?
Listen,
head, thorax, and abdomen.
I love the fact that this one people could come at me. I love the fact that Brilliant, that product, invested in the National Science and Math Quiz.
They give a platform.
I like the fact that till today we are enjoying all this. But you see, the reality on the ground, somebody will fight me and say, but Jay, the car they sit in, we don't do something in Ghana here. This you are using, the road you are driving, it's all science. No problem. No problem.
But Jay, do you know that if you are parking your car safe, you need Pythagoras theorem to park
yes, yes. All that is
automatic.
No problem. Yeah. But you see,
on your politics.
But you see, I keep saying this is my argument. We will leave China. We will leave China to keep doing infrastructure when it comes to that. We will leave Vietnam to still do clothes. Okay, Ghana. Ours is home economics. Ours is creativity in terms of lifestyle creativity. That is ours. So the earlier we wake up to look at the vocational institutions and equip them and start doing national vocational quiz and invest and have brands, big brands invest money in that space and realize that the youth of today are waking up to a different culture. People are leaving their offices. People are resigning. People are starting their own businesses. They're not opening microfinance companies. They are opening bead making companies. They are opening shoe making companies. They are opening T-shirts. Free the youth. You
watch companies.
Watch companies. Music companies.
Yes, there is no country. There is no. I saw.